to Jason's final presentation.
Well, good afternoon. I know everybody's tired after a very long afternoon of presentations and some crazy challenges that I've heard from that side of the room. My name is Jason Del Vecchio. I appreciate the opportunity to come in today and talk to you about the challenges that Steve had presented me with in regards to your current situation with Sprint. You have troubles with the network, you're concerned about what's going to happen with Sprint Direct Connect, and there's a lot of questions around what's going on with us in regards to SoftBank and financial. So what we'll do today is we'll try to address some of that, make you feel comfortable, and we'll take it from there. I expect it to be interactive. So who knows what bonking is? Chris! What is bonking?
Bonking is where you hit a wall.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like to run marathons. Some of you may have heard this story before. 3 hours ago, maybe. When you run a marathon, if you don't plan, you pay the price. So I ran a marathon 2 years ago in New York. I was looking to PR for Boston. I needed to run at 3:15 to be there. I hit the halfway mark at about an hour and 25 minutes, and then my splits started to fall off. Split is your mileage time, just clarity. At mile 18, I bombed. I stopped. I was dead in the water. I walked 8 miles into the finish. I tell you that story because I think as I was driving in today, I was trying to think about, how did we end up in this place with Sprint and Direct Energy? Why are you in a position right now that you think you may want to make a change in providers? What have you done? And, bonking came to mind because it's really being network driven. You're concerned about the experience that you had with Sprint in regards to coverage, continuity, and network vision has caused us in a way to bonk. So what are we going to do today? We're going to make you feel better about Sprint. I want you to feel as good about doing business with Sprint as I feel working for Sprint. Not only am I going to make you feel good about the business you do today, we're going to make you feel better about doing business with us in the future. And that's going to be really important. Okay? So again, we'll leave it interactive. Please feel free to ask questions. This is your time. You asked me to come in and do this, so if you don't get the answers you're looking for, we're no further down the road than we are. So, by show of hands, who has seen Sprint in the news lately? Well, I would hope so. We've been in the news everywhere. Dish Networks, SoftBank, Clearwire. So, outside of the M&A aspects of what we're doing today, there's a lot of other news about Sprint out there that you should know about. Top-tier M2M provider, J.D. Power Associates customer service winner. There's a lot of good things happening for us. And I think what ends up happening to a lot of customers is they get caught up in what the perception is of the media. So just because Reuters says, hey, this is a bad play for Sprint, and you picked up that paper in the morning, you say, yeah, God, I don't know what they're doing. You need to sometimes see the forest through the trees, I think is probably the best analogy I can come up with. Sprint has a great portfolio. We're diversified. We are not just a wireless company. I think, again, a perceptional issue that we face a lot of the time, especially for us as account managers, is why, I don't have any need for cell phones. Well, in this room, you have a lot of need for cell phones. Sprint Direct Connect is what drives your business for your technicians in the field. However, we have a global MPLS network, we have a wholesale division, M&M, as I mentioned, $33.7 billion in revenue. We are financially stable and we're viable. We're not AT&T, we're not Verizon, we don't want to be. We're a disruptor. That's what we prefer to be. It's best for us. One of the biggest pieces about Sprint that is a proud moment for me is our commitment to the environment. Number 3 on Newsweek's Corporate Sustainability Index. The only wireless provider in the top 25. We use the environment to drive our business. 93% of the power supporting our campus in Kansas City is wind power. We use hydrogen fuel cells at cell sites to power them. We've pioneered EPA recycling programs. We're good at it. We like it. You're an energy company. You should like them because you're constantly being pinged. How are you going to be more efficient, be better for the environment? So this is a big point for us when we try to drive it home for the customers. We can be your partner in making you more environmentally friendly. We have tons of solutions out there today that really can give you the opportunity to enhance your environmental portfolio. So what does it mean to you when I say we want to empower your business? Well, I'll tell you what it means to me for you. You guys have 1,000 locations around the country with approximately 23 technicians at every location. Every day they rely on an application to do what they need to do on a push-to-talk phone. What if we could take that application, move it to a tablet, provide Bluetooth printers, and allow them to have more on-the-spot capabilities for their customers? The ability to drive a higher dollar within that transaction. Not just close out a time ticket, but sell a service contract. That's empowering your business. We can do that for you today. And I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, what gets lost is all you sometimes think is we're a cell phone provider. We're not a cell phone provider. If I leave you with anything today besides bonking, it's that we are not just a cell phone provider. So, network vision. We've talked about network vision for 2.5 years, back when it was called Project Leapfrog. Some of you may have even heard that back then. Network vision is here. We are in the throes of it right now. A week from now, the Nextel network will shut down, and we'll take all of those synergies of that spectrum and utilize them in our network vision going forward. It drives cost savings, right? Financial liability, but it also provides you a better end user experience. We'll talk about how it relates to your push-to-talk in a second, because I know I'm seeing some heads going, well, yeah, but what about my push-to-talk? We're going to do that in just a second. But just by making initial changes in the network vision portfolio, taking the base stations and moving them up the tower, you drive a 40% increase in coverage. 40%. Now, we do all of that by reducing our overall footprint of towers environmentally. So everything ties back together. We're really saving energy, doing more with less, and providing you with a much better end user experience. The expectation of all, you hear a lot about spectrum, 800, 1.9, here's what you need to know. As a customer, what it's going to do for you is give you calls where you need them. So, Chris, your technician goes into the bottom of that building to check that transformer. He's got coverage. He's out on the road in the middle of Canoga, Wisconsin. He's got coverage. That's all that matters, because those are the phone calls you get. The phone calls aren't, well, I can't, download a YouTube video. You're not getting those phone calls. You're getting the, I can't do my job. And when you get enough of those, you call me and say, you're hurting my business. And so this will help us help your business, not hurt it. Questions about network vision? And just one quick point I want to go back to on this slide. 13,500 sites are online today. It's about a third of the way. We anticipate being approximately 98% complete by the end of this year. But you're going to feel that impact well before we get to December. Those 2% will be in outlying areas. And that's really going to drive not only 3G voice, but 4G data moving forward. Oh, who knows that? Who knows that, right? I love that sound. I grew up on that sound. Back in my very first sales job, I sold seafood wholesale, and I had a brick, but it made that sound. It drives your business today. So what's going to change for you? Nothing. Nothing in the bad way. You're going to get a new handset. That's good. It's always good, new toys. But you're also going to get that improved coverage area. The biggest complaint about Nextel was that there was never any off-net capability. You were on the network or you were off the network. There was no in between. Anybody who was around 8-9 years ago can always remember hearing, I'm red light. Right? I'm red light. Red light meant you were carrying a paperweight. What Network Vision does with Direct Connect is it really allows you to have that off-net roaming, expanding that coverage map, really making it fill out to the entire country. And that's important, again, because you're not just working in the cities. You're out in the middle of nowhere. There's transformers everywhere. So you want to make sure that the guys are going to be able to hit that button and get where they need to when they need to. So what's next? From my perspective, I think I'm giving you some confidence in who we are as Sprint. My hope is that you have a lot of confidence in who I am. Who this team is. This is your account team. That's my team. So I'm responsible for everything that happens with that team in servicing you. And that's my daughter, running her first 5K. Here's a running scene. This team is dedicated to direct energy. Our job is to make your job servicing your customers easier. If we're not doing that, I need to know that. And so when I said we bonked earlier, to bring it back, we missed the fact that you guys were having challenges. Somebody in the room mentioned earlier, Paula mentioned earlier about partnership. Every relationship in sales is a partnership, whether you believe it or not. I need to rely on you to tell me when something's wrong, not a minder. I know I look like Prescott, but not really. If you work with me, I can help you resolve the situations that you have at hand. We have this team, and specifically Sherry Sliss, who's the network service manager, who can chase those network tickets and help us understand where your challenges lie. Period. I may not always have the right answer, but you'll get the honest answer, which is, yes, it works for you there. I think we may have a perceptional issue versus a real issue. Or, you know what, Don, I'm sorry. We just can't service you there right now. You're best served putting that device from another provider in that end user's hand. I just want credibility from you. You now believe that I'm doing the right thing for you, not just me. And that's what's important. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Does anybody know what movie this is from? Chariots of Fire. I'm a runner. I love Chariots of Fire. My wife thinks I'm crazy. She's like, it's 30 years old. What do you do? The movie's great. But as I was putting this together last night, there's a scene in the movie that to me kind of encapsulates where I think we've been with Direct Energy and where we're going. So I just want to play this for you really quick. It's not visual. So, to sum it up, sometimes you get knocked down, you get back up. That's us. That's Sprint. We've had a rough little go of it. I think we've bonked, but we're going to finish the race first. And we expect to finish the race with you. Thank you.
That's just unfair. You know?